so much information that's coming directly through spirit to Mynoo and right to us. So get ready for the 48th Pearl of Wisdom. This Pearl of Wisdom is holiday spirit. And of course, this is our last one of the year. So you are going to be in for quite a surprise. There are 7 hidden gifts in the holiday spirit that will regenerate themselves. And Mynoo is going to explain a little bit more about this and how to work with these to regenerate the qualities that you can enjoy and rejoicing, especially during this holiday season. So welcome. Happy holidays to all of you. We are very excited. We're on Facebook Live and also on Zoom. So we'll be managing both of these platforms tonight. I am always excited to work with Mynoo Maryel, who's been my mentor for about 10 years, I think going on 11 now. And every time we gather together on a Thursday night, I learn something new. So I'm as excited as you are to be here for this 48th Pearl of Wisdom, which is holiday spirit. So again, we're going to learn how these 7 gifts, how we can work with these to regenerate this joyfulness, I should say, during the holiday time. So we are ready to begin. I see Mynoo has joined us from Dubai, which is quite exciting. Thank you all for coming. And like I said, you are in for a treat. And hello, Mynoo. Great to see you tonight.
Great to see you too, and great to be here. For us, it's Christmas Eve, so it's the morning has already begun.
Well, we are very excited here, both in Dubai and in the States and wherever you might be, because I know we have people joining from all over, from India, from across the globe. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming and spending this Christmas pre-eve with us tonight. And Mynoo, I can't wait to dive into the 48th Pearl of Wisdom. How fitting, the 7 gifts that are in the holiday spirit that regenerate themselves. So over to you for more on that.
Thank you. Okay, so, well, first of all, I was quite excited that holiday spirit itself is Pearl of Wisdom. It's especially at this time of the year, and we'll be doing a lot of work on wrapping up, the old that we are ready to leave behind, and wrapping up our gifts, placing it under our own tree of aliveness. So it was very fitting to be talking about this particular topic. The first thing I want to say about the holiday spirit, we say holiday spirit because it stations us in the spirit of ourselves, and it accentuates the spiritedness that we once had and anchors it in the immediate present. So it's a holiday spirit. Its only intention is, the holiday spirit, its only intention is to station us in our spirit and literally switch on that light bulb of the spiritedness of us. Now, when you are stationed in your spirit, this is what inspiration is. In spirit, you are stationed. And that is one of the bonus gifts of the holiday spirit. It stations you in your spirit. When you are stationed in spirit, there is a calmness that occurs. You automatically step into your center. And from that, you're able to actually see the entire sphere of the world that you are in the midst of. And you automatically start connecting to the spiritedness of every living being that you come into contact with. This is like the preamble to the 7 gifts. Okay? It stations you, holiday spirit stations you in spirit. And that's why, the moment we've planned the holiday and it's come into our conscious reality, we start feeling light. already, even though it might be 2 weeks away, or it might be 2 months away, there is something that happens. The reason why we are going into, and this is why holiday spirit is chosen as one of the pearl of wisdoms, is that we each have the ability to invoke that holiday spirit anytime, every time, anywhere, everywhere. It is at our beck and call. I talk about we all have our spirit guides and guardian angels. We all have our holiday spirit. It is akin to the inner light that we have, that each one of us has. It is instrumental in illuminating us. So the intention of this pearl of wisdom is for you to be able to activate your holiday spirit. It already is invoked. It's up to you to activate it or not. For me, when I understood this, I really got this whole thing that I talk about. I've got to learn that my home is where I am. And my holiday spirit is with me now, all the time, anytime, every time. The other piece that I want to talk about, because every word counts, in the way the pearl of wisdom is described, it's important to understand that I say the 7 gifts that regenerate themselves. So we talked and we did a whole series on the 10 commandments of the new world. And one of those 10 commandments is a switch from sustainable to regenerative. So the natural vibe on the planet is supporting regenerative. It's supporting regenerative action, regenerative thought, regenerative, activities that we engage in. So uncovering these gifts that regenerate themselves enables you to work with them in a way that gives you the perfect cadence to continually expand your aliveness, because these gifts will regenerate themselves. It's just a matter of understanding what they are, acknowledging them, anchoring them, working with them in such a way that comes from a space of trust and a knowing that they will regenerate themselves. So the first one is homecoming. The first gift hidden in the holiday spirit is homecoming. So when I prepare for these pearls of wisdom, I revisit the 7 pieces that I'm going to be talking about the night before. And when I revisited this and prepared for our session today, it was so exciting, the homecoming part, because what we're talking about here is when you understand that the holiday spirit actually reconnects you to the spirit of you, and the spiritedness of you comes alive, that is the true homecoming. And I just feel, my son and daughter-in-law had their second child exactly at the time that I needed a new teacher. And this little one absolutely is my teacher. He's taught me so much about, from baby steps to homecoming, connecting to the spiritedness. I mean, they totally are connected to the spiritedness of themselves. There's no wavering, even when he decides to complain that he's now had enough and wants to go to his mom, he's connected to the spiritedness of him. Yeah, it's disturbing sometimes, but it's also very, very cute. does not really, I mean, all it does is it just has me love him even more. But they are connected to the spiritedness of themselves. I'll share a video actually that was taken last night. We were by the fountains. I live very close in downtown in Dubai, and we have these humongous fountains. And one of my cousins, actually one of my nephews, captured a video with my 3.5-year-old looking at these humongous fountains in front of him. It must be like giants, water bodies in front of him. It was quite special, I thought. But that's like literally the spiritedness that I'm talking about. So the homecoming is holiday spirits brings you home to the spirit of you. And in that, how do you work with that when you become stationed in spirit? You know, there's something quite yummy about home. And there's something quite rejoicing about homecoming. There's something celebratory about homecoming. Even though you may be going on holiday away from home, or you may be entering this holiday period, it's rich in holiday spirit, and it's rich in your spiritedness and that of others. So you can literally, you know, just slip back, cozy up, you know, snuggle in, put on Netflix or whatever you like, or one of my videos, whatever. It's just yummy, whatever it is, whatever you choose to do. When you are in the holiday spirit, you come home. Because it is talking about homecoming as opposed to home, all those different nuances that go with homecoming, you know, become activated, and it's up to you to use them. There is a rejoicing vibe. There is a celebration. There is a saying cheers to coming home, because you're coming home to you. And you can do this anytime. You can activate this experience anytime. So you can even go as far as saying, you know, you're in the middle of something and it starts to get overwhelming. You say, okay, I'm invoking my holiday spirit. And I'm going to go and open up that gift called homecoming. And it immediately regenerates itself. You don't have to go into any big process. You just have to connect to that homecoming feeling, and you will literally, all of those things that go with homecoming get activated. All the nuances become alive. During these holidays. So you can imagine, you know, during this, we are in Christmas time, and New Year's is around the corner, and there's going to be Valentine's. There's lots of, you know, already accepted anchor points where people naturally go into a space of holiday. And we have a chunk of time right now. So really master being in this holiday spirit. You can even go as far as being the holiday spirit. Stationing yourself. So you become literally the Santa Claus equivalent. Wherever you go laden with these 7 gifts that regenerate themselves. When they regenerate themselves, they have that experience of the holiday spirit that people feel as if you're sharing it generously with them, because their spiritedness starts to rise. I hear people often say, oh, I was so tired, I didn't want to do this, I didn't want to do that. And then they've come to some salon or something that I'm doing because they didn't want to miss it. And they are completely energized. And it's this. This is what it is. It is this gift, all of these gifts that regenerate themselves. The second gift is opening. So the holiday spirit gift creates an opening, opens up blocked passages, opens up thoughts, that thinking where you may be feeling very closed up, but it opens that up. It opens up flow, really. That's what it's doing. It's literally, joy starts to flow. And joy, consequence of being in joy is happiness. Vitality starts to flow. Your breath becomes more flowing. If you want to ensure that you really are in the holiday spirit as you are planning and packing to go away, you actually can experience the lack of rush, because everything seems to come together perfectly if you are stationed in the holiday spirit, as opposed to the doingness of going on holiday. The great thing of doing this today, the last pearl of wisdom in this year, is we are in the holiday season. Everyone, media is writing about the holiday spirit, they're talking about it, all sorts of stuff. And the other reason for doing this today is, there's still uncertainty, still certain, unknown is still the known, take nothing for granted is still the modus operandi. There's a new variant, and there's questions about lockdowns and all of that. And, there might be another variant another time, and there might be something else, right? So travel is still not as easy flowing as it was. You don't, wherever you are, by choosing to station yourself in the holiday spirit, you immediately invoke these 7 gifts, and you can go on vacation with them. You can take a week-long vacation, each day unwrapping one of the gifts, and see what flows. I would love for you to take this on during this holiday period, a day with each gift, and go about whatever it is that you're doing. I'm certainly taking on opening and homecoming today. We have our Christmas festivities that begin. In Germany, they celebrate Christmas on the 24th. So, we have a big family gathering, and we'll just continue on from there. So I'm going to work with these 2 and see what emerges with everyone as the opening starts to take effect. I mean, literally, it's like this clogging. If opening is full spectrum that happens, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, and environmentally. For me to accentuate the gift of opening so that it regenerates so fully that I experience of the whole and completeness in my well-being, I actually engaged, like last night I engaged with, where do I feel a lack of opening? And I felt a bit of lack of opening in my lymph nodes under my left armpit and underneath my shoulder blades. So I have yoga before we have our session. And I shared that with my yoga teacher, and, that's what we did. But that's where I picked it up. But actually, if you did a full spectrum lay of the land, and then when you're working with the holiday spirit, stationing yourself in spirit, and you're working with opening, allow that opening to spread across all of those areas. Because it regenerates, it happens by itself. The third gift, it's interesting, the formulation of words I'm always often amused by. It's living lifestyle. Living lifestyle is the gift of the holiday spirit. So this one is, it's foundational. It's foundational. We talk about lifestyle. Life basically is a state in which an organism is breathing. There is no style about it. It's just a state in which an organism is breathing. You try and give style to it, not a lot will happen. But, lifestyle has become a phrase, which is how we choose to live our life. So the holiday spirit stations you in a living lifestyle where you're consciously choosing to live your life as opposed to just, continue breathing in and out. Coping mechanism dissolves. There is no coping. Even survival actually dissolves. You enter the realm of thriving. Because the gift of the holiday spirit is a living lifestyle. And what is the consequence of adopting the living lifestyle? It is aliveness. So you can imagine if, one day you say, right, I'm actually going to work with this gift of the living lifestyle and see what shows up. What is it that comes to you to do next? I mean, that's what I did. So I said, okay, I'm going to work with the living lifestyle. So, okay, what's there for me to do? And, I used all of those magical phrases like, something, what's there for me to do? Okay, I get what was there. I go do it, and it feels really good. And I go on and ask the question, wow, that feels good. How much better can it get? I'm still living the living lifestyle. And then off you go. I get another experience, which is even better than the previous one. So then I thought, all right, I'm going to consciously implement it in my full spectrum areas. Physically, let's go for applying the gift of the living lifestyle. And that gave rise to, dancing, choice of learning to sing, choice of integrating, yoga and meditative practice with work and creativity. Spiritually, I took on the living lifestyle. It got me to leverage collaborative co-creation of coexistence, which is one of the commandments. So I literally started working with the elements that I have access to. So going for sunrise in the desert has become a part of this lifestyle. It is quite amazing, actually. Sunrise anywhere is beautiful. Sunrise in the desert, just combining that light of the sun with the sparkle that exists in the grains of sand is quite phenomenal. And what's going on in Dubai, just because of how many oases and how much water has been created, man-made creations, it's created a phenomenal life force. So when the sun starts to come, like literally you'll be sitting in the desert with these sparingly located palm trees. And when the sun starts to come, there'll be hundreds and hundreds of birds that rise from those trees. And the sky is pink, salmon pink, and these flocks of birds are just flying, and there's so much sound made by these different birds. It isn't the same type of bird either. And then you hear the hoofs of the onyx in the distance, or you see them in front of you. that happen as a result of the, adopting the living lifestyle. Because you become more aware of how alive everything is. And that is what regenerates aliveness within you. Even if you're deeply depressed or distressed and upset. And I've had that experience with a number of people in our family. And I'm talking about our extended soul family. By supporting them to remain stationed in the living lifestyle has enabled them to release some of the attachments that they had with some of the loved ones that they, lost suddenly. And some amazing projects have emerged as a result of that being taken forward by these people. Literally getting those souls that have departed to continue to be alive long after that state of life is gone. The living lifestyle automatically brings harmony between home and work. This whole balance part I don't get. Balancing home, work-life balance I don't get. And I don't intend to get it either. Harmonizing work and life. I like that. A living lifestyle automatically harmonizes. And the reality is, we are working and we are at home. Both coexist all the time. So let's not kid ourselves. This is the key to what many of you who experienced my business collective have heard me say: all days work, all days play. Living lifestyle. Just know life is a state where an organism is breathing. You can apply style to that state. Doesn't matter. The organism will not look any different. Nothing new will occur. It'll just keep breathing in and out. No change. Lifestyle by itself is just a, bland phrase. A living lifestyle is what results in coming alive. And a holiday spirit immediately activates that. I mean, you can already see if you haven't picked that up yet, that each one of these, absolutely a living lifestyle. When you adopt that way of approaching how you live your life, it regenerates by itself because it results in aliveness. The fourth one is the gift of the holiday spirit is it's integrative. Integrative. I may be pronouncing it oddly. That's just my Indian accent. It's integrative in a full spectrum way. And in a whole and complete way. Literally, it is something that infects everything that you're engaged in with the spirit of you. What it does, it also integrates at a cellular level the spiritedness of your being. And it is of your being present to your presence. And that integration, literally, holographically as a vibrational experience, spreads. People see it, you feel it, a lightness of being occurs naturally. So if you want to benefit in a whole and complete fullness sort of way from the holiday spirit, just get very clear about all the areas that you want to see this integration. All the areas. And then it's game on. Integrative it is. The moment, see, when I say 7 gifts of the holiday spirit, those gifts already are there. When you bring your conscious awareness to those gifts, that's where the multiplier kicks in. And they start regenerating themselves. Otherwise, they're just wrapped up nicely. They already are there. And we've all had experiences where when we've gone away on vacation, certain attitudes and behaviors of our loved ones that might be irritating back at home, during the holiday, you might just laugh it off. They don't feel that irritating. Well, because you've just integrated all aspects of this person's personality. When you're on vacation, it's just a natural thing that happens. So when you bring the holiday spirit to wherever you are, anytime you wish to experience it, then the integrativeness is activated immediately. How do you work with that? The clearer you are about the areas of your life that you're engaged in at the moment, or those that you're preparing for, the easier it is for the regenerative aspect of this gift to have an impact on all of those areas. The one thing that I noticed when I was working with this one was, I've just been working with my own immune system. An immune system per se, I'm very curious about. So when I chose to work with this in the context of my immune system, I realized that when in spirit I'm stationed, I'm actually at the highest vibration of my being. And in that highest vibration of my being, there's not much that is low vibe that can even exist there. So that's just a standard quantum physics law of the universe, which applies absolutely 100% on this planet. Completely affects every human being. Whatever it is that you're vibrating, that's what you attract. So when you up-level your vibrations, many of the things that you were attracting previously stop being there. As many of you who have done the journey to miracles have experienced. Different opportunities, different types of behaviors are being attracted to you as you start to live from your source mastery, which is also the vibration of you. So it truly boosts the immune system. There is so much of discomfort, which puts us in a low vibe, matches the vibration of our being, even if it is not, even if it is sporadic, you are not in that high vibe. There's always an undertone of a low vibe anxiety that's going on. But when you get into the holiday spirit, in spirit you are stationed and you operate from there, you're automatically in your highest vibe. It's quite therapeutic. Holidays are therapeutic. But here you can have it anytime. So for me, it is all about really guiding you as a friend so that you can remain reconnected to your own spirit. And you can practice full spectrum living by yourself. And I've taken on this really working with regenerative ways of doing it so that the stop-start frustration stops for everyone. And you keep moving forward, onwards and upwards. The integrative gift of the holiday spirit delivers that automatically. And the clearer you are about the areas, the more consciously you can apply it. The fifth gift of the holiday spirit is it's delightfully delicious. I know it's just a delightful phrase, even delightfully delicious. But there's more to it than just a phrase. It's invoking all of your senses. It literally cleans out, clarifies, removes clogs and clutters in your sensory abilities. Your sensory abilities, while we hear people talk about the pineal, sure, that connects you to your inner wisdom. It's not a sensory organ. Your sensory organs are eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. They are the ones that give you your sensory abilities. Everything else is different. It's intuition. Sensory abilities is a very conscious affair. Delightfully delicious accentuates, sharpens, like a fabulous knife that has gone blunt and you put it through the knife sharpener and it's like, wow, this is why I bought this thing. It's like that. Holiday spirit, the fifth gift is delightfully delicious. So when your sensory system is invoked and activated and accentuated and fine-tuned and sharpened, when you see something, you're actually able to see what is being shown to you, not just the face value of what you're seeing. So for example, when last night, when I saw that fountain and my grandson's reaction to it, I saw what was being shown to me was unbridled joy and the infinite innovative capacity of the human mind to create something so magnanimous and so meticulously delivered that people of all ages, from all strata of society, with language not being a barrier, can really get into and experience majestic magnificence. That is what was being shown to me. Literally, the spirit of being human in action. The magnanimity of the human spirit was what was actually being shown to me. So much reverence and respect emerged from just that. And that was only my sensory organ of eyes that delivered that. When you are stationed in the holiday spirit, which we all are right now, this is activated already, delightfully delicious. Yeah, I've been doing a massive body of work in terms of clusters of organs that we have and what they do. And this understanding of the sensory organs, which is our sensory system. We don't talk about it, but it is our sensory system, and sensory system is essential for utilizing the full power of the kind of intellect-based consciousness that humans have. as compared to, which is different than other animals. Delightfully delicious works with that system. You get to see, you get to hear what's actually being communicated, as opposed to just the words going through your ears. When you actually step into, what's actually being communicated. Like I had a little bit of my son had a little bit of an upset with me recently, just a couple of days ago, like, significantly upset. I was doing a 7-day fast again. And the 6th and 7th day was actually very distressing this time. And he got really upset that, why do you fill your calendar with morning meetings? And this is all happening because you don't sleep enough and stuff. None of that is true in my case. However, as a son, it was right for him to feel upset like that. And it just spun a little bit out of control. So I'm in the holiday spirit. So I really looked at, well, what's actually being communicated here? And what is actually being communicated I was a single parent for many years when he was growing up. And me changing things when he was growing up, saying, okay, we're going to do this. And then work comes in. And at that point, I felt I needed to attend to that. So change the plans. We're not going to do it now. We'll do it 2 hours later. There's just few incidents like that I realized he's remembering how disappointing it used to be for him. And now he has his kids and they've developed a bond with me. He doesn't want them to have that disappointment from me. So that was one piece that was being communicated. I'm about to start a whole series of travel again from January onwards. And we've got into a beautiful rhythm and connection, just sharing the space here in Dubai whilst they've been here. So, another piece that was being communicated was his concern was I go to India or anywhere in the world and lockdown happens. And then instead of 2 weeks, I'm like gone for an indeterminate period. So he was a little concerned about that. That is what was being communicated. That's delightfully delicious, isn't it? To recognize that. There's so much love in what was happening, but actually the way it was being communicated was without love. And I could have reacted to that. Being in the holiday spirit just gave me a completely different perspective. And we just sat down and talked about it. And really co-created a solution coming from resolve, which otherwise would not have happened. And that's what's available to you. I strongly recommend use this holiday period because you already are in the holiday spirit. The whole world is going holiday, 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 So the vibe is one of holiday spirit. All of these gifts are invoked. Don't rush and use them all at the same time. I want you to experience it because as you experience one at a time, you unpack your cellular memories and a remembrance returns, which enables the regeneration process to be even more powerful. The sixth gift is anchoring and activating. I thought this was so fabulous, Holiday spirit stations you in your spirit, reconnecting you to the spiritedness of you, and it's activating and anchoring. So that gets activated and it gets anchored. What a great place to lay down your anchor. It gives you infinite flexibility. You can amplify because you're already anchored in the spiritedness of you. You can, without hesitation, communicate that which you wish to communicate. without holding back. This is an anchor that enables you to reclaim your full self-expression. Just like a child, they will laugh when they want to laugh. They will cry when they feel they want something. What it does, this activating, anchoring and activating, what it does is it enables you to reclaim your position as the leader of your aliveness. People take on leadership of their life. I mean, hey, life is a state. An organism is breathing. What's there to be leading that? You know, that's just there. What to lead is how you choose to live your life. And when you step into being the leadership of your aliveness, that automatically, as a consequence, gets you to make choices that make you come alive, not deplete you. And that's what this one does. Anchoring and activating. I want to give a few minutes for any questions or any observations people may have. So I'm going to go ahead with the seventh one. And this is an odd word as well. It was yonderland, not wonderland, yonderland. Okay, holiday spirit, the seventh gift is yonderland. Yonder is something out there. And land is you land. Really what this means, what is being communicated here? Why is yonderland a gift that regenerates itself? And why would we even want that? It gets you to land. So many times people are disconnected and don't land in the present because they're anxious about the future. Or they're regretful about the past. But being regretful about the past is only there because there's some anxiety that's built up about the future, something that's not yet there. The holiday spirit, you literally, with the yonderland, what it does is it gets you to acknowledge that there's something else, something out there that you may be concerned about, you may be excited about, and you are able to integrate it within you and land in the present. And in the present, as you've heard me say many, many times, there are only miracles. And that's why the seventh gift is yonderland. So we have a few minutes. I would love to open it up for any questions or observations that people may have. Over to you, Catherine. And you can put your questions in the chat. I know I haven't given you any notice about coming up with questions, but we are in the holiday spirit, so go for it, whatever.
I'll start so that everyone can just go ahead and think about what it is that you might want to ask. You know, I'm wondering this whole idea, Mynoo, that the gifts are already there, and it's this new perspective of we're just unpacking them. And I'm wondering, I love this idea of yonderland. I'm thinking there's a whole new body of work around yonderland. I can't wait to go there. But I'm wondering if you process this the same way, like when these ideas and this knowledge comes in and then you unpack it, is it similar to this, what you're teaching us tonight, how you actually process this information that comes in?
So, I mean, the speed is a little bit different, Catherine, just because of some special gifts that I have managed to practice. So I can run with multiple things at the same time. I like to do it in this way, like I'm about to teach you, because otherwise you won't be able to relate to it. It'll simply be ahas. So for me to be able to ground what I'm about to share with you, I am to do it in the way I'm asking you to do it. So I do it. It's just the speed is different.
Great. Thank you, Mynoo. And I see we have another question coming in. So I appreciate that. I'm familiar with when you unpack things and they come in almost like a package and then it just starts to flow through. So yes, thank you for this guidance on how we can unwrap these gifts. We have a question on why all holidays have become so commercial. People talk about the gift in transactions only. So yeah. I guess that's a question and just an acknowledgement of what is. So would you like to?
So that was actually going to be my answer. You can, it's a perspective, and we can be judgmental about they've become so commercial. And sure enough, there are many, many, many businesses, many, many families, many mouths that are fed by this commercialization of the holiday period. And how amazing is that? That is able to occur. We can see it as a negative thing, and that takes away some of the delightful deliciousness from our lives. Or we can, just bask in the glory of that. Also is a part of the gift of the holiday season. I mean, really what has happened is money is such an important force that has been created as an important force by humans. It started making the world go round, commercializing certain things that were totally unnecessary. When the world was created, there wasn't any commercialization. It only was the holiday spirit. Everybody, literally, this planet was a playground of relationships. Everything that came onto this planet came in the holiday spirit of experiencing that. And then slowly, we created different constructs and games. And it was humans, the attitude of humans that created that. And we started playing that game. A part of that was, money. And we started using it as a mode of transaction. And for that mode of transaction to become interesting, commerce got created also. And when commerce got created, then different markets and industries emerged from there. For there to be reason for commerce to flourish, then holidays started being segregated, so that there was always something new that could accentuate and multiply the commerce part. It's okay. That's just a game that we created. It's okay to play the game. I've played the game full on this Christmas. Our gifts under the Christmas tree are even taller than the tree now. Why not? Why not? I can sit there and say, oh, it's so commercial Christmas. Well, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. And how blessed are we that we are actually able to partake in it. And if you're not able to partake in it, you still have the holiday spirit and all those gifts to work with. So really, that would be my answer.
So, it's just bringing forth this whole idea of perspective, right? Like we can just take, and it's so interesting that you always give us this unique vantage point that allows us to see things from a whole nother angle. So yes, why not have fun?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Any other questions? We have time. We are so fortunate to have these 7 minutes. So let's bring on some amazing questions for Mynoo, if anyone has any. Vince, I know you always have a few.
And it doesn't have to be about the holiday, what we've just talked about. It could be about anything.
I don't want to hog all the time because, Mynoo, I work with you quite often, at least once or twice a week. And I always have questions right after I'm done. So guys, don't be shy. anything that's on your mind, now is a great time, a great opportunity.
And if there is nothing, that's also okay. Just go ahead and share what you're present to from what you've heard me talk about. And I also would love to know if you are taking on, really working with these gifts during this holiday period. So go ahead and share that in the chat. That would also be really great in the holiday.
I have another question. Well, it's an awareness and a question, and it's really about this whole idea of conscious awareness. Because I find, like, is there any tips or ideas that you can give us that will really help us kind of manage that, especially through the holidays? Because when we get in that spin and we're not necessarily in charge of our emotions and our what's happening around us. So I just wondered, I know this is something we used to talk a lot about, but I'd love it if you could share any tips or tools, especially during this time of year.
Yeah. So I would say there is so much that this time, this year, is like no other time. These holidays are like no other holidays you have ever experienced in your life. 2021 was always meant to be this way. And these holidays are like that. We've completed the year of flowing in flow, and we've entered, literally crossed the threshold of the year of rejoicing. So for this time of the year, my invitation to everyone and my suggestion to everyone would be, choose to be in a state of rejoicing. Allow the doing to flow, as opposed to doing celebration. Engaged in the act of celebration without the being in rejoicing. Okay, so get conscious about making the choice, I'm going to be in a state of rejoicing. And describe it in its fullness. What would that feel like if you're in this state? So that you know you're there. And then allow the doing to flow. Things occur, and like it did with my son, and I was able to step in and look at, well, what's actually being communicated here? Because I was in the spirit of rejoicing. I wasn't going to just not engage with it fully.
I love that, Mynoo. So we have an observation and a question. Connie was asking just to speak a little bit more about anchoring the holiday spirit. How to anchor the holiday spirit.
Yeah. The first thing to get is, this was the natural state of this planet. The holiday spirit. I mean, literally, if you go on a safari and you see these animals running, it's a holiday spirit in action right there in front of you, right? So that's the natural state. And it was a natural state for us humans also. And aliveness occurred in amidst that. How do you anchor the holiday spirit? By choosing to anchor it. Creating a cellular memory of each of those gifts and what that feels like will enable you to have that holiday spirit be regenerative. It stations you in the spirit of you. That's what it does. So all you do is, right, I'm getting into the holiday spirit, rather than have it be outwardly focused. Station yourself in your spirit. Become a vigilante of where you feel and experience your spiritedness and what that feels like.
Thank you, Mynoo. I think we have a lot to do this holiday season before it's over to get ready to practice. I know this whole idea of living in this full spectrum of the holiday spirit. That's a whole nother ball game, looking at the whole full spectrum. You could take one day and do only 2 or 3 of those. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun, bringing this conscious awareness to the gifts that are already there and then unpacking them and seeing what emerges on our way to Yonderland.
Yeah, I love the Yonderland. You're right. That's, definitely a big body of work. And with that, I'm grateful for everyone to be here. Thank you so much. And I declare our session complete. Thank you all.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Everyone be safe.
Yes.
So much love to every one of you, and we'll see you in the new year.
Indeed.
New Year.
Wonderland.
Wonderland, rejoicing.
Rejoicing indeed. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.